Hey there! What's up, horror fam? Tonight, coming at you with a Talk Horror Live, baby. We got Mitchell A.K.A. Dr. Briggs in the house with us again as the co-host for this special topic we're going to be addressing tonight. Briggs, do you want to tell everybody who we're going to be talking about? A horror legend, if you will, Briggs.
Shoot, man. I know I love him. I might even say I'm a fan of him after I've done my rewatching for this episode.
Oh my goodness. Now that is a big statement. Rewatch of what?
Throughout the past week, to prepare myself for this installment, I got through 6 out of 7 a good old Rob Zombie's filmography, at least his live action films.
God. Also, no fucking El Super Beasto or.
No.
Yeah, you didn't have the balls for that one now, did you, Briggs?
Not even close.
Yeah, man. I've heard things on that one. It's apparently pretty rough, but. So Briggs, let's go ahead and start tonight because I'm not really a fan. Yeah, I'm just fucking not really a fan. But let's talk about the music first. I will say, man, Rob Zombie's music is I like some of it. Mm-hmm. I'll say that, man. Like his hits are catchy as shit. But when he falls, man, he falls really hard. I mean, he's one of those musicians who like to experiment around and stuff like that, which is cool, because at least they're trying something new, man. But his shit's off the wall sometimes, dude.
How do you like that "Sex on the Spaceship" song, dude?
Oh my god, dude! It can't be worse than that Foxy bullshit he tried to do. 15 years ago, like Educated Horses, that's what it was.
Oh god.
Oh yeah, but I mean, for like the songs that get used in horror movies and stuff, like Living Dead Girl, Thunder Kiss 65, More Human, like shit like that are bangers, Briggs. Those are some good songs, and they do fit really well into horror movies, which is cool.
Absolutely. That's the kind of music that gets you pumped up. It gets you in that dark, hardcore frame of mind. And that's kind of the same mindset that he applies to his movies, man. And I won't put him on the level of somebody like John Carpenter, James Wan, or Dario Argento, but it's a different kind of horror film that he makes. It's highly stylized, it's gritty, and they're just kind of violent, fun watches, I think.
Well, yeah, what did you think? I mean, how pumped were you, dude, in Bride of Chucky when all of a sudden Living Dead Girl kicks on and, you know, Tiffany's walking away filing her nails after she slits Bailey's throat, and then Chucky, when he's in the car, he's like flipping through the music and like, God damn, the music scenes went all to hell since I've been dead, and then like More Human Than Human or whatever kicks on, and he's like, yeah. That's a badass, man.
Yeah, that movie would not have been the same without that soundtrack, and Rob Zombie set the mood, man.
Hell yeah, and I'm telling you, man, Briggs, I see in the comments over here, in the live chat, as it were, Briggs, that we do have some Rob Zombie fans in the house. This is definitely going to be a hell of a topic for tonight, man, because I feel like I'm about to get all up in that ass and hurt some feelings, but I am happy to see all of you here, man. We got the horror fam strong here tonight, baby. We got Necro, we got Jonas, baby, we got JK, Dragon Blues, George Ishak, Chris Harris, John the Baptist, all here on my screen right now, Briggs. This shit's insane, baby. They coming in hard for the zombie.
Rob Zombie is John the Baptist's favorite artist of all time, dude.
Ooh, damn! I hear that. Now that's a big statement, but now, Briggs, let's go ahead and get into his movies. Now, Rob Zombie, shortly after Bride of Chucky came out, had his own little foray into the world of filmmaking, Briggs, with his feature film debut of House of a Thousand Corpses.
I love that film. It's
Well,
still my
that's it for
favorite of the
tonight, baby. Briggs has
filmography.
been drinking. We're going to have to go ahead and log off.
This is the first stream that I've done sober, I'll have you know, Bo.
Ah, damn it, Briggs. Oh, so you're choosing tonight to be sober? The little Masters of Horror quote I had to toss at you there, Briggs.
Now, like, House of a Thousand Corpses, I think, came at a time where horror was kind of getting to a very, like, polished, very almost neutered state. Like, we were talking about ourselves in the slasher episode, like, what we were getting in the early 2000s. We were getting meta shit like Scream, where we're getting, like, low blood content slashers, like I Know What You Did Last Summer. And then freaking House of a Thousand Corpses
Oh,
dropped.
Briggs, so you're just going to glance over Ghost Ship like it didn't exist.
Ghost Ship is part of the problem, my friends.
And fucking Ghost Ship, Fear.com, Swim Fan. You know, I mean, yeah, horror was definitely...
It was at that territory where they were trying to blend a little bit of like slow burn thriller into everything.
The real question is, what do you think of Soul Survivors, dude? I'm not even going to get him started.
Steve.
I'm not even going to get him started on that shit. But man, yeah. So okay. So that I mean, I'm going to give you this. Okay, on House of a Thousand Corpses, Rob Zombie, I will say he is a very stylized director, which is something that I actually do like. Man, he is. You know, I know he gets different cinematographers and stuff like that, but I feel like a lot of the time he's got to be behind that camera like, dude, this is what I want, because the cinematography in his movies is on point.
No shit.
And,
Like,
you know, I know he's high into art, man, so, you know, I have a feeling like he has a lot to do with, like, the set design and probably some lighting as well, because I also like the lighting in his movies, which is something I don't comment on very often, nor compliment on, so kind of weird, man, but...
House of a Thousand Corpses, that artistry, I think, is what pushes it up a level for me, because a lot of the complaints it gets is that it's kind of a very, like, bare-bones plot. It's cribs a lot from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I've heard, and I think that's kind of BS myself. It's the same kind of pricks who say that say Friday the 13th was a ripoff of Bay of Blood or something, but...
Thought you were going to say Baywatch, but...
What pushes up from the basic DTV kind of like shovelware, like low budget indie pick at the time is that artistic element. The fact that he does the split screen shit in that, like Brian De Palma or something.
Yeah.
I love the effects. I love the costumes in House of a Thousand Corpses. And it's not the funniest horror comedy of all time, but I think the comedy is what kind of wins it over for me. Just the quirkiness of the family, like how disturbing, but like how charming they are on some level. And I think, like, I might get shit for this, but I like House of a Thousand Corpses more than Devil's Rejects.
Oh
because
my
it has that
God, here
comic
we
element
go.
to it. Because it has that quirkiness, because it doesn't beat you over the head with how serious and how dark the events are. It is... House of a Thousand Corpses is my favorite zombie film because it is up his alley. It's like an hour and a half long goddamn hell ride.
Well, man, you know, speaking on that, I will say that I definitely do not agree with that. Like, I want to get that out there right now. Devil's Rejects all the way for me. But House of a Thousand Corpses, and this is... Okay, so I want to say, like, I've been to the filming locations.
Ah.
You know, I went to Captain Spaulding's Chicken Shack and actually got a picture inside of the son of a bitch. I happened to be there on the day that the owner was there. And it's essentially like it's this place out in the middle of the desert that it does look like a gas station on like one side, and it's kind of something else on the other. It's been a while since I've been there, but they use this place, like it gets reused a lot in movies and in commercials, and the owner happened to be there because he was supposed to meet up with a rep from AT&T. They were location scouting for a cell phone commercial They were going to act like somebody's out there in the middle of the desert and stopped at this place and didn't have service, and then AT&T comes in and saves the day, I guess. But yeah, so I actually had a picture inside of the damn chicken shack. I had a picture at the Devil's Rejects apartments. Stuff like that, man. And then that damn phone blew up on me. And I lost the pictures, but sorry about that. I had my phone on Do Not Disturb, but favorite contact came ringing through. But, you know, that being said, man, I'm not a fan of House of a Thousand Corpses.
I can see why you wouldn't be, man. Like, it's really the style that kicks it up a notch for me. That's what makes it special. Like, when you strip that away, and that's part of why it's so good, so I don't strip that away. I always take that into account. But when you strip that away, it is kind of like a very generic, like, it's a slasher where there's no particular scene that, like, really jumps out at you as super memorable, I guess.
Yeah, well, yeah, man, yeah, you know, it does have a unique look to it, which, like I said, Rob Zombie does have. I do like some of the cinematography in it. I do like the set design, the lighting and stuff like that. That's really cool. But man, if Sherry Moon Zombie doesn't fucking ruin that whole movie all on her own, I mean, and there's other stuff that's bad about it, but it's so hard to get past her bullshit.
I asked, Bo.
Oh, bullshit! In House of a Thousand, who the fuck can stand? Like, number one, she's one of the worst actors. Like, she is infamously bad. And
she ain't that bad,
and also, I mean, we've already had comments over here in the live chat. But
they're drinking the Kool-Aid, dude. That's
no, come on, man. Not only that, but that laugh she has is like nails on a chalkboard, and he has her do it over and over. And I'm telling you, man, like, Rob Zombie casts her not for her acting skills, because he's a total cuck. Like, Rob Zombie wants to see his own wife's ass on the screen so everybody in America can jerk off to it. And I'm telling you, because it ain't because she can act.
It's because she fits the role that he wrote for her.
Oh, like, bullshit. She don't fit shit.
Firefly.
Rob Zombie writes the same characters in every movie. And that's a fact. You know it is. Like, his bad guys anyway are all going to be some sort of hillbilly white trash sons of bitches.
Malcolm McDowell in 31.
So, every character in that damn thing, they suck, man. Like, what was the depth of Malcolm McDowell's character in 31? Nothing. You got him for a minute and a half. But everybody else was. Every evil clown in that thing was. We even had a German hillbilly.
Now you're stretching it, dude.
It's the truth. But House of a Thousand Corpses, absolutely. The Firefly family is nothing but a bunch of hillbillies running around. They got trash everywhere. I don't know why Rob Zombie's so afraid of us. I'm telling you, man. That's why you never see him tour here. He is scared to death.
Oh, God.
I'm telling you. But, man, it was, and for the transitions, I'll say this. On one, you talked about, like, the showing multiple frames in one scene.
And switching to, like, footage from, like, films within films, shit like that. We get a dream sequence that's basically an 8mm documentary.
Yeah, that was different, I'll say this, but it also reminded me of some shit people would do in Windows Movie Maker at the time. With those types of transitions, man. Like,
the Zombie knows how to make it work. Like, there are people who can't make it work. They try and make it artsy.
Yeah.
He knows, or at least his fucking editor knows, like Garrett Green or whoever does like all his fucking movies editing. He knows how to make that shit work.
Shit, here, Briggs, and it's just like when they had that stupid ass Barney Fife cop on his knees for a full like 30 seconds, and it was supposed to build suspense. Suspense my ass. That was the most boring 30 seconds I've ever spent on a movie. Like, oh my God, when's he going to pull the trigger?
But goddamn, it was a nice artistic shot. Like, that would have been over in like with every other filmmaker, and it would have been totally forgettable.
Oh, he could have
But
done so much other stuff with that, man. I mean, he was. I will say this. He does take his characters, some of his bad characters are assholes, we'll say. Like the Barney Fife in there played the role of essentially an asshole cop until he
mhm.
died. Like Rob Zombie is good about making some characters assholes, but then you feel bad for them because the people they're getting killed by are bigger assholes essentially. Like,
Yeah.
he does do that. He does get you emotionally involved pretty much every time because you're going to hate his damn movies sometimes. And when you don't, you might end up hating some characters. Or, hell, his wife, who finds her way into every damn Rob Zombie movie.
Rob Zombie does characters right. He does photography, lighting, set design right. The one fatal weakness I think he has as a filmmaker is that he's an auteur. He wants to be part of every aspect of the film, but he's a weak storyteller.
Man, oh God, JK asked, what is Rob Zombie's worst film? I think we'll answer that later, but holy shit, that is a loaded question right there, pal. Like, you got to
No, I
scrape the damn bottom of the barrel for that.
no, it's Three from Hell.
Oh yeah, well it'd be that or oh man, or what fucking Lords of Salem. That one was pretty rough too. Or El Super Beasto, which we haven't even seen, but I've heard nothing good about.
I'll tell you
But
one thing, Bo, and I'm prepared for you to ream my ass for this. I watched Lords of Salem, and I made the mistake of watching it inebriated the first time. I
yeah,
couldn't follow the plot for shit.
what
I
plot?
watched it again, sober, and there was a plot there. Like, that
Wow,
movie's messy as hell, but at least, like, when you're paying attention, you can connect the dots.
damn.
Like, what I will say, man, it feels like when I say it's messy, it feels like he was trying to cram too many plot elements into the Lords of Salem at once.
See, folks, now
But
this tells you something, Breeze. I'll let you get to your point here in just a second. I heard that "but" in there, but this tells you something, folks. When Briggs is excited for a Rob Zombie movie because he discovered a hidden plot. There was a plot to the film. Like,
what John the Baptist said is what I did research on. Like Rob Zombie's original shooting script for the Lords of Salem, it was gutted. And if there's
mm.
one person I blame for that, like this film was distributed by Blumhouse, dude. So I kind of blame Jason Blum for that.
Oh, of course. Yeah, fuck Jason Blum. But man, like
There was originally a
it,
film within a film, dude. I'll
dude.
tell you that.
Okay. I owe that one a rewatch. I've only seen it once. I'd be down for watching it again just to see what the hell you're talking about. But I remember that movie. And I'm going to get into, this will be a little bit later, but I want people to know I am going to get into Rob Zombie the person and the things because you did call him an auteur. I'm going to get into that bullshit later and rip him an ass for what he did on that Indiegogo campaign for 31. So that is coming. So make sure you stay tuned for that. But, Briggs, you said that you feel like Rob Zombie maybe tried to put a little bit too much into it and cram
Yeah,
stuff
that's
in there, man. And
like it felt like he was trying to preserve too many of these plot elements that he really didn't have time to put in the finished film. And as a result, like he wasn't able to focus on one single strong storyline, which is a shame because I think the film had a lot of really creepy imagery in it.
mm-hmm.
And if he had just built that imagery, if he had I don't want to deride the story too much because, like John said, like it was kind of incomplete in the version we got. But
Yeah.
if he had stuck to one strong plot line, if that's what he had pruned down instead of trying to like say something different in every scene, I think Lords of Salem could have been one of his better ones instead of one of his worst ones.
Yeah. Well, see, that is one of the major problems I have with Rob Zombie is he doesn't seem he's a director with no direction. A lot of the time, it seems like he doesn't know exactly what in the hell he's trying to do. And I've actually heard, if you watch one of my 10 Things videos, either 10 Things You Didn't Know About Rob Zombie's Halloween or Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. But there is an interview clip, it had to be Halloween 2. There's an interview clip I have in there with Danielle Harris. And she does say that she felt like on the set of Halloween 2 that he had no idea what the hell he was doing. Like he had no clue where he wanted to go, what he wanted to do. He wasn't directing his own movie, and I feel like that. I mean, you just said it with Lords of Salem. I mean, he didn't know, or I mean, he tried to cram too much stuff in. So I mean, you got to have a direction, man, if you're a director.
That's where I say his weakness in storytelling really hurts him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it felt like Halloween 2 was a whole lot of build up, a whole lot of focusing on the characters, and JK, I really did like how they made Laurie less likable and more broken in part 2. But it was so much time that we spent with her just going about her day-to-day life, with Loomis on his stupid book tour, and with Deborah Myers and the White Horse.
Oh God!
By the time we finally got
fucking White Horse.
By the time we finally got to the payoff, like, it felt like that's it.
Yeah, well, see, man, I mean, we're going to get there. I have a lot to say about Halloween 2, but man, okay, so we do get The Devil's Rejects, which is the sequel to House of 1,000 Corpses, and I really did like The Devil's Rejects. That's my favorite Rob Zombie movie.
What's your second favorite? Because I know that was going to be your favorite, Steve.
Second favorite would probably have to be Halloween, the Halloween remake. And, The Devil's Rejects, man, he did that thing that I talked about earlier, where he's good at taking characters that are just nasty, evil, vile, and then making them sympathetic, almost. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, he does get you emotionally invested there, but I could then I could see why people wouldn't like it. I see some people over here in the chat who didn't like it, because it is more of hillbilly trailer park slasher number 3, as Ginger Zombie referred to it in the TalkHorror show. But man, I liked The Devil's Rejects. I thought, the characters really came full circle in that one. I think he really took a look at Baby Firefly and toned that shit down to where she was at least tolerable.
What I want to say, man, is I love how the Firefly family duology, and I'm gonna refer to it as a duology from this point forward with a little wart at the end.
Okay.
What I love about it is that the first one, it brings that cheese, it brings that 80s campy, gory horror comedy flavor to it.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second one, it takes them out of that amusement park and it throws them into our world, and it shows them how dark that shit would be. Like, imagining those, like, campy horror, like, backwoods family as a group of real people on the run from the law.
Well, it could almost be like, Charles Manson's family, man. I mean, think about that. Like, you got Charles Manson and just sitting around the campfire talking shit and going crazy, and you imagine what would happen to, like, somebody who wandered in to their surroundings, their area, man, and what they would do to them. That could be like House of 1,000 Corpses. But The Devil's Rejects is what happened to Sharon Tate when that family comes out into our world, and how dark and the consequences of that.
Mm-hmm. And that's, I think, kind of simple storytelling he uses worked in the favor of that story because it's almost like acts. The movie takes place in like pretty much just four big settings. We got the Firefly Farm, we got the police station, we got the Kahiki Hotel, and then we got the whorehouse.
Yeah.
And a different set of circumstances, it happens at each location. Yet the shootout where we kind of led to like sympathize with the Fireflies, we kind of like hope in the back of our heads that they get out of this. And then we move to the hotel and we see just how brutal and how evil they are.
Yeah.
And after that, it kind of tempts you to like them again. And by the end, it's they're faced with their own humanity, I guess, in facing like the kind of shit that they inflict on other people.
Well,
a simple story, but it's an emotionally challenging movie.
Well, yeah, man, and and I'm throwing a poll up right now for the people in the live chat. Rob Zombie, good or bad? Let's see what the general consensus is here, Briggs.
You're a fucking cheater, Bo. Good or bad? The answers are yes or no.
Ain't that badass, Briggs? Oh, man.
Yes, he is definitely good or bad. Okay.
Oh, man, I make the best polls, baby. It's but man, yeah, the Devil's Reject. So I want to ask you a question. I also want to ask this to the audience, to our listeners tonight. Does it bother you that Rob Zombie sort of has this entourage he brings with him from film to film? Because I've seen other horror personalities talk mad shit about, well, you can tell it's a Rob Zombie film. I see Sid Haig and Bill Moseley and Ken Foree, but the only one that I bitch about is Sherry Moon Zombie because of her acting skills. The others don't bother me, but I want to know your opinion on that, dude.
I think it can get a little one note. Like, I gotta give him credit. Like, obviously, I have to say he's friends with all these dudes that he puts within all his films, but like some of them are just thrown in there. Like you saw Michael Berryman for 2 seconds in the background of Lords of Salem.
Yeah.
Like, what was the point? I don't hate Sherry Moon Zombie. She is really not the worst actress in the world, but she really is miscast as someone like Michael Myers' mother.
Yeah, that was, I'm surprised knowing his ass, he didn't make her the damn one of the cheerleaders or something, one of the high school girls knowing old Rob Zombie, but hey, but, okay, Briggs, so for me, The Devil's Rejects is as good as it gets from Rob Zombie. Wasn't a fan of House of 1,000 Corpses, and you said that you like House of 1,000 Corpses better than The Devil's Rejects, was just definitely against the grain. But where would you put The Devil's Rejects then, man? Like, how much more do you dislike it?
I'd put it like 0.5 lower. It's my second favorite. Like, those two films complement each other very well, I think. Like I said, like, they're two halves of the same coin.
Okay. So,
and then after that, I'd probably put Halloween.
Okay. So then we get into the Halloween films. Let's go ahead and dive right in there, which is definitely his most popular films. I mean, they have the name.
Right. Halloween it's nothing I put in the top tier remakes, the ones that like take an amazing concept that was kind of like half baked, like The Thing, The Fly, both Invasions of the Body Snatchers were kick ass, but
yeah,
I would put it on the next tier of remakes under that takes a good idea and like spins it in an entirely different way while preserving the general flavor of the concept. Like, Michael Myers, he has a backstory. He's a reason for why he's insane, why he's evil in the original, or not the original Rob Zombie's first film. Um, and I dug it. Like it was fascinating to me. They didn't like immediately rehash the ending. They didn't just show a flashback to his childhood and jump forward. Like we got to follow him for a long ass time, and part of what I think wins that movie over on me is the fact that we had this long segment where we actually get to follow his life.
Yeah.
Where it's not just trying to get us invested in the same cast of teenagers that we followed in the original.
Yeah. Well, see, man, here's
Like one of the several different spins on like Dracula or Batman, I think. I'm not offended by it. It wasn't trying to do something stupid with it. It wasn't trying to twist it in a bad way, or it wasn't trying to directly rehash it either. It was its own beast with its own spirit, despite having basically the same plot line.
Well, see, man, as far as his Halloween goes, he got the property, he got his hands on it. Huge film, huge opportunity for him, huge film. But it was time because we had had so many Halloweens. I mean, for goodness sakes, our last damn Halloween film had Busta Rhymes in it. You know, it was time for somebody to try something different. It was. So I do appreciate that he did try to do something different with the film. You know, he tried to give Michael Myers a backstory. And I will say that I do like that Michael Myers is just pure evil with really little to no explanation in the original franchise. I do like that. I do think that's scary as hell. I think that's one of the greatest twists in horror is in the beginning of the film when you see a young lady get murdered, and then when the mask is taken off of the killer, you see it's a child. I think
there's only so many ways you could do that.
There's
only so many ways they could remake that.
There is, and there's there's only so many things they could do. The problem I have is the backstory he gave Michael Myers, and I understand but that you're somewhat limited. He wanted to make it more realistic, but the problem I have, man, is it's like he read the serial killer's handbook. He took a course, Serial Killers 101. And that is what Michael Myers got. He has a stepdad who's abusive. His mom's a stripper. His sister does, he gets bullied at school. I'm surprised Rob Zombie just didn't go the full nine and have the son of a bitch playing with fire and pissing the bed. You know what I'm saying? Like I understand he's trying to do something different, which I appreciate. It's just what we got was so freaking generic. And once again, the same characters from Rob Zombie that we're so accustomed to. Everybody in the son of a bitch is a hillbilly gone wild. The stepdad was a hillbilly. The stripper mom was a Jesus, man. The sister's boyfriend was a greasy, then you have hillbilly rapists in the asylum.
It did get a little bit one note, but I do like that we actually got scenes in the asylum. Like you can say, before that it's generic. It is right out of the serial killer's handbook. I can understand why you would have a problem with that. Like it is kind of like this happened. Of course he went evil, but I think the scenes at the asylum are what kind of redeem it for me. I like this paper mask.
Yeah,
like that's creepy to me, and I like that he turns on the one person who was actually kind to him. That's like a uniquely cold twist, I think.
So Briggs, I went ahead and threw us up a new topic there, a new poll in the chat for everybody to vote on. We want to know which you like better, Rob Zombie's Halloween or Halloween 2018. Let's see what they say, Briggs. But I see what you're saying, and I was going to ask you, because in the unrated cut, there are some differences, and I think it's in that one where when Michael Myers escapes, it is because like these hillbilly orderlies in the asylum decide to, we will use the term sexually abuse, because I don't know if, well, I guess I've already said it once. They rape an inmate. I'm just hoping YouTube doesn't nail my ass for that, but they rape an inmate, and that's how Michael Myers escapes in that cut. Now, in the theatrical cut, I believe it is, once again Michael Myers is being transported to another facility and pulls the old shiggity shwooty and escapes, which we've seen 30 times before. So I want to know, man, which way did you like it?
I liked the grittier, more brutal version of the unrated cut. I think it gave scene its own personality, and I think it fit the tone of the rest of Zombie-Ween a lot better than just the rehash version.
Yeah, I mean, it's once again, it's like one of those things where at least he tried something different as far as the escape goes, because my God, how many times can they transfer Michael Myers and the son of a bitch pulls a Houdini and gets out of custody? I mean, Jason Blum brought that shit back in 2018, which is so cringeworthy. But in Rob Zombie's version, the more brutal, gritty rape scene, it's like, shit, man. Once again, give us something different, dude, because he ruins it with having those typical ass characters he always writes. It's like everybody's a hillbilly rapist.
He went a little hard on the hillbillies in Zombie-Ween, I'll admit.
Yeah, but
I'm just gonna throw this out there. H2 is a better reflection on trauma than Halloween 2018 was.
Yes. Well, hell, Halloween H2O is a better reflection on trauma than Halloween 2018 is, and it's like, you know, yeah, that's a whole other topic. I'll love to do that, Briggs. I mean, we could have a whole episode on Halloween 2018, but
no. Oh, God.
Oh, we could. That's you know how much we've talked about that movie, but dude, and I'm seeing a lot of people in the comments saying that this is a hard poll because they hate both films. So it's very interesting, Briggs, and right now it looks like we're split.
Oh, God.
but man, so with Rob Zombie's Halloween, you know, I can't, you know, even though he did get, he went overboard with his characters, and he did, he was generic in a lot of ways, I feel like. Once again, though, I will say he had great cinematography, great lighting, set design. Like, I love some of the stuff he gets. And Michael Myers, man, there were some scenes that were truly like, holy shit.
Tyler Maine's got a presence to him. Like, it's totally different from the traditional vision of Michael Myers. Well,
not only that, man, but look at how they did, you know, 2018 is a good example, because they tried to do that BS where they were, well, man, we're going to build suspense and make Michael Myers scary again. And, like, you know, Michael Myers is going house to house, killing people. But just look at the scene in Rob Zombie's Halloween when, like, he just follows Dee Wallace into the damn house and slams the door behind him, and just how scary that was and how big he is compared to her. And it's like, what the hell? You know, so, you know, while he did get generic in his creativity with this movie, I will say I like the original Halloween. And essentially after the first half of Rob Zombie's Halloween remake, it turns right into the original Halloween with new updated characters.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know, what's there to complain about? I mean, unless you just don't like the first half, and I could see people definitely not. But, you know, it didn't bother me enough to where, I would trash the film.
Where would you rank it among the Halloween series?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. Like I said, man, because after the first half, it essentially turns into the original, and obviously The original is high up there for me. It's only behind Halloween 2, the original. The original Halloween 2. So, it's up there, man. You know, top 5 for sure. You know, because, well, hell, probably top 3.
Oh shit! No, you're kidding.
Yeah, man, it might be up there in top 3 land because I mean you have Halloween 2, Halloween 1, and then it's like Halloween 4. No, Halloween 4, man. You know,
4 was good, and I thought 3 was really good, but
yeah,
Zombie
3
Ween
is.
would actually probably make my top 5 or right
Yeah.
outside of it.
Yeah, Zombie Ween's top 5 for me, I would say. You know, but so after Halloween, we go right into Halloween 2, Briggs, and I made the mistake, like, this is when I had, like, almost a turning point for Rob Zombie. This is when I stopped being mad at him and I actually felt sorry for him. That's how fucking bad Halloween 2 is. Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. Yeah, I want to clarify that because now there's 30 Halloween 2s, but Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 is the shit of legend, Briggs. This movie, man, I went in there. Now, okay, what I love about the original Halloween 2 is how claustrophobic and suspenseful it is. It takes place in a hospital. It's dark. It's Laurie's trying to navigate the hallways. She's disoriented. Great film. Halloween 2, the original, is a great film to me. Now, Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, man, I'm sitting there, and it starts off in the hospital. You see all the havoc Michael Myers has unleashed on not only Haddonfield, but Laurie Strode. There, she's in the hospital, and it was like Halloween 2, the original Halloween 2, but with a shot of adrenaline. I was sitting there, and I was like, oh my God, this is going to be a kick-ass movie. And then 15 fucking minutes later, Briggs.
Okay, was kind of a kick in the balls. I'll give
That
you
was
that.
a definite kick in the balls, bro. I'm sitting there, and then Laurie Strode wakes up from a dream sequence, and I am just like, what the fuck?
That opening was still good.
The opening was good, but it was fucking negated by the terrible conclusion that it was a dream sequence. You know how I feel about dream sequences, dude.
I'll give it a pass because it was a well-constructed suspense sequence. Because,
what?
How else were they going to fit that in with the rest of the plot that Zombie actually had planned to do? That was basically to throw in the fact that she was still being targeted by Michael in her dreams.
Man.
But that wouldn't have worked with the story because Michael's body had disappeared in the main plot of the film.
Dude.
So I'd rather have the scene and have it be a dream than not have it at all and jump us right into the aftermath plot.
Dude, and Halloween 2 is a legitimate piece of shit to me. Like, it's you open up with a dream sequence, which means there's no consequences for anything that just took place on the screen. It was really cheap. It totally misdirection, man. It almost false advertising because the rest of the movie is not in any way, shape, or form like that first 15 minutes.
I think Halloween 2 had its strong points and it has weak points, and unfortunately the weak points just kind of overpower the strong ones.
I will say...
We were seeing...
Go ahead.
Laurie trying to recover, trying to fit in with her new friends, just kind of breaking down from day to day and lashing out at people who cared at her. That was juicy content right there. The white horse, it was overexposed. I liked a couple fucking shots with Ghost Deborah and the white horse, but it was just too prominent and it got corny. And the
Absolutely.
fucking Laurie in the coffin shit was totally
Dude,
unnecessary.
what that son of a bitch did, he put his wife once again in the fucking movie because he cannot make a movie without shoehorning that fucking woman in there.
That was definitely his most egregious casting of Sherry Moon Zombie.
Absolutely. So he shoehorns. He would do anything, and it has been proven with Halloween 2. He would do. He would cast her in a movie if it fucking ruined it, and he did. Congratulations, Rob Zombie. Point proven.
The worst thing about H2, though, to me, was Dr. Loomis was definitely a different character in the original Zombie Ween than he was in the original series of films. But then his character took a swerve from what he even was in Zombie Ween in Part 2, and he became just obsessed with his own self-image, and that was just so corny.
Yeah, it was, and you would think, being a psychologist or psychiatrist himself, he would have recognized that and I'm not a good person anymore, man.
Yeah.
So it doesn't fit the character.
And then suddenly he went back into fucking hero mode in the last 5 minutes, and it's so jarring.
Now here's something. It absolutely is, Briggs, and here's something that I do want to ask you as well as the chat, because I saw this come up earlier, and when I was talking about Sherry Moon's acting, and they said that she looked like an Oscar performer compared to Scout Taylor Compton, and I totally disagree with that. So I want to know what you're saying. I always thought Scout did an excellent job.
100%. She's rewatching H2, she was 100% where my focus was.
Yeah. Because, and part of it, is her look. She looks like a wholesome girl, which, there's a problem in Halloween 1 that didn't fit her character either. It's like Rob Zombie can't help himself but to make somebody have a little bit of trash to him. And I'm talking about when she does the finger through the donut thing. But
She's a teenager.
She is, but other than that, man, she was very wholesome. She's babysitting for money. She's taking care of these kids. She cares about them. A wholesome teenager wouldn't have friends like that, number one. Not somebody on her level, not, talk and act like that. But, as far as her acting goes, and well, hell, I thought the way she looked, suited the character well.
Mm-hmm. I liked that her and Annie, they kept their scars.
They did.
They had them throughout the film. They were prominent. You saw several shots of them. They never just forgot to put them on the characters.
Well, yeah, and now I will say for Halloween 2 and the way she acted in that, I see Dragon Blue says she was overacting. And I saw somebody else comment on the tantrums that Laurie threw in Halloween 2, but you have to remember all the shit that came crashing down around her. Her whole family is dead. Her friends are dead. She's now living with the town sheriff who, has obviously went downhill himself at this point. Annie is messed up too, but totally being shut down about it. And Briggs, I see Jonas over here talking about Brad Dourif doing great. Oh my God, what a you can watch Halloween 2 and Brad Dourif in that movie, and you can see the different levels of acting. Because he is on I don't give a damn who you compare him to in the movie, and characterization, dialogue, script aside, directing aside, Brad Dourif is on a totally different level than any other actor in that movie, period.
I honestly liked him, Danielle Harris, and Scout Taylor Compton as a trio. I thought they played off super well against one another. When somebody trashes Rob Zombie's dialogue, just listen to the scenes where they're fucking together. They sound like a surrogate family. Sometimes they're at each other's throats. Sometimes you can tell they just love each other. Sometimes they have little petty disagreements.
Yeah.
I think that's the strongest area of like Halloween 2 is the dynamic between these three survivors.
Yeah, man, I wish Halloween 2 was better. I really do. But to me, it is terrible. The white horse bullshit is stupid. That dream sequence really started me off on the wrong foot with the movie. What I will say once again, and this is pretty much universal for him, and Halloween 2 maybe it's where it is the best. I don't know. Maybe you can comment on this because you don't dislike it as much as me. Or maybe it's where I tried, where it's such a bad movie that I wanted to see some goodness in it somewhere. Once again, man, the cinematography and lighting, especially in the beginning when it's the roads are wet and you have the lighting of the traffic lights on the road and then the flashing light of the cop cars and lorries just walking up the street alone. Like, the cinematography, set design, and lighting, once again, man, was just great in that one for me. But otherwise, horrible movie. So, do you think that was the height of his style, man? Like,
Um, in terms of cinematography, I think Lords of Salem was actually his best.
okay, like I said, I need to maybe watch that again and see what. I remember watching it, and maybe I did catch it. I don't know, because I can't hardly. I've tried to push that movie out of my mind. You know, I remember yeah. But, dude, so then, if we're done with Halloween 2, then I think we do move on to the Lords of Salem.
Hmm.
Which, if you want to comment on that, you can. To me, that was a horrible ass movie.
It's I before I did this rewatch, I would have definitely said it was the worst. Like before going into it, I was thinking, yeah, Three from Hell sucked, but Lords of Salem was worse. But
Oof.
watching it again, I was just like, I'd put it up there with 31, like either dead average or like barely above in places.
Mm. Okay.
Because like I love like the shit he hides in the background. Like some of it's scary as hell. The blood coming out of his little Rocket Men from the Moon poster.
Mm-hmm.
Like deformed little overgrown fetus that just like trots up to Heidi's bed, and the damn torture cage we just see materialize in the shadows of her bedroom. Like the imagery in that film is stunning, and it totally deserved a better story to go along with it.
Okay. So, where would you put it, man? On a scale of 1 to 10.
I've
Okay. Okay, so it's still just a very mediocre, middle of the road kind of movie.
It's messy, man. Like
Yeah.
it was every time I was impressed by the cinematography. I was impressed by kind of like the darkness of Heidi's descent. I
Mm-hmm.
was just like taken aback by okay, now they're moving on to another random event in the life. It's build up, but it's not really building to anything. It doesn't really like contribute to the end scene. I don't think. I think they could have built up a kind of like final bit of chaos a lot better than they did.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Once again, for me, it was another way to, Sherry Moon Zombie's our main character, and it, man,
It's
it just didn't bring enough to the table for me whatsoever. I do remember it, like I think he wanted it to be like his Argento esque kind of picture, and
Argento does suspense way better than Rob Zombie does.
well, I mean, I think that goes without saying, but I mean, stylistically, like he wanted these beautiful shots and the this use of set design and stuff. But man, no, it just it,
Yeah,
it
like
fell flat for me, dude. No,
I Same, it was watchable, but it didn't really stick with me as impressive.
Yeah. So, I see people over here in the comments, Juno 2000, Lords of Salem is my least favorite Rob Zombie film. They felt sleepy while, just boring. I have to agree with that. It was boring.
Two things I actually wanted to comment on. I forgot to bring this up during H2, but it also ties into Lords of Salem. Like, back near when H2 first came out, there was this crazy ass theory that Michael Myers wasn't alive, that the killings were, it was Laurie doing the killings, and the whole being Michael Myers was all in her head the whole time. And I kind of got the same vibe from Lords of Salem because they dropped the line in that. They say classical witchcraft is just mass psychosis. And you almost get the feeling, since Heidi was a recovering addict, that this satanic plot to convert her into this doomsday device is just kind of like the her backsliding into drugs and like backsliding into personal delusions as well. And
Yeah.
there's one scene in it, like she's got pills for some reason that's not really clearly explained.
Uh-huh.
There's another scene where she's feeling sick off of hearing this album, and this happens once and it never happens again. She coughs up blood.
Yeah.
And there's another thing they bring up where one of the witches who's trying to deceive her is looking into her palm, looking into her lifeline, and she mentions that something like death comes from for everyone, but what's important is your fate. And I kind of I got the feeling on that rewatch maybe they were trying to be like, this is all Heidi's psychosis to deal with the fact that she's dying and she doesn't yet realize it. She's got a disease and she doesn't know it.
Oh, okay.
And I think both of those angles, explaining Michael or this like witch plot as psychosis, they would have made H2 and Lords of Salem, I think, probably better films if they had just committed to that instead of just kind of like dropping hints at it and eventually just giving us a basic horror film in the end.
Okay.
That's a little artsy fartsy, but I mean, do you think that would have been worthwhile if they'd done the psychological angle with one or both of those films?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know, man. There's a lot of what ifs with Rob Zombie, because I do know that he has bitched incessantly about his films being edited or messed with by the studio. And, we're going to get into that in a minute here because we're going to lead into 31. But, I did just want to take a second here. We are almost an hour in. I'd like to thank every single one of you for coming in here tonight, spending your night with us. We're going to go a little bit over this hour because this is somewhat of a larger topic for us and somewhat more serious. So, I did want to give a shout out. I see some new faces in here like Brandon Smalley, Everything Horror Collector, 44 Excalibur, Gory Tigers back, Artsy Hall, Saved by Grace. I just want to say thank every single one of you for being in here. You too, Hobbs. Please feel free to participate in our polls, like this video, become part of the horror fam, and hit that subscribe button. Necro, we're going to get to your question about the monsters soon. But, now we're going into 31 territory, Briggs, and this is where I have a real problem with not only, like I said, after Halloween 2, I felt sad for Rob Zombie. I was like, oh my God, he really is just incompetent. But man, when it came to 31, this is when he actively pissed me off. And I think if you're a human being, Briggs, despite the film, I'm not talking about pissing me off with the film itself. I'm talking about as a person. And as a person, Briggs, I feel like you got to get me on this, man. Because what Rob Zombie did is it's unethical. He has no integrity, man. Because what he did was, when it came to 31, which is his movie where a group of people are abducted by these elite rich folks, and they're put through a contest of 31 where they have to survive against, once again, hillbilly lunatics. Go figure that shit. That are dressed up like clowns. So go figure that shit. But movie aside, Briggs, I see you're aching over there to say something. He started up an Indiegogo for this movie. He crowdfunded it. I think it was an Indiegogo. If not, it was the same thing. I mean, Kickstarter, Indiegogo, they're all the same. Man, so he did this, and this son of a bitch, he did it under the pretense that he doesn't want the studio meddling in his movies. He wants to have complete creative control. And, hey, Saved by Grace, new cadaver. We got a new member in the chat, baby. Thank you, Saved by Grace. I see Briggs doing the little hands together bow. I'm going to do it too. Heck
Welcome to the horror fam, Saved.
Yeah. Heck yeah. Enjoy those perks too. You get sweet smileys. You get the little TH logo by your name in the chat. Look at Jonas. Look at Dragon Blues. They all got it. They're green now where they've been members for so long. But what people might not know is, Briggs, they have the logo you get when you're a member for at least a year. There is a 2-year special logo. So that will change at one point, my friends. But also, YouTube just did an update where on the TalkHorror page actually now has a list of current members of the channel. So members do get a little bit of glitzy glam, baby. Yeah! Look at Necro, baby. A member for 16 months.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. So... Now back to the point. Yes, the Jason emoji. There you go, Saved by Grace. Already putting those perks to use in the chat. So, Brees, now back to Rob Zombie's 31. He started up an Indiegogo under the pretense that he didn't want the studio to meddle with his films anymore. Now, this is a son of a bitch who has a net worth of like 50 million. I mean, he's a multi-millionaire. I think it's, I can't remember the last time I checked it, but it's like 40 million bucks. So what the fuck were you crowdfunding, man? If I had that kind of money laying around, being a struggling filmmaker myself, man, I'd make my own damn movies. I wouldn't ask people for the money. Those platforms are for actual independent creators. And I just think that was a really shitty way to treat that platform, man. That'd be like Bill Gates going on there and crowdfunding Windows 12.
The thing is, you got to remember, net worth doesn't equal like disposable income. Like
it doesn't. But with somebody $40 million who crowdfunds fucking $1 million or whatever the budget for that movie was, like, you have that laying around. You have that shit laying around, man, and you can't tell me he doesn't.
All right, how much was the budget for 31 exactly? 1 million?
I'm not sure. I was just, throwing that out there. It doesn't look like it was much more than that, but everything horror collector. I hope one of my mods here can get you an answer for that, brother.
The problem I had with that shit was, like, it was, all right, no studio interference. He got to make whatever movie he wanted to make, so long as it got funded.
Yeah.
And it was probably among his tamer projects, really.
Well, that's another... That's a fucking huge problem I have with it. Like, if we go into it, this is first of all, that's... The problem with crowdfunding is one thing. Like, that's one thing I'm like, you just ripped off your fans. But not only that, it doesn't end there, Briggs. When I really got pissed off at Rob Zombie is when he came out like the dumb fuck that he is and told people, the people that put money into that project, that this was his worst, most generic idea he could come up with. Because now I've heard this, not only, I've seen it reported, but I've heard it from fans who were at this convention where he talked about it. He said that he was on the phone with a friend, and he said that he could think up the worst idea or the most generic idea off the top of his head, and he guaranteed he could get it made into a movie. 31 was the idea he came up with. He's like, well, let's see, clowns with chainsaws chasing people. And then I'll be damned if he didn't get it made. So not only did he exploit his celebrity for money to milking his fans to get this movie made, but he essentially called his fans fucking stupid. They spent money on what he considered to be his worst idea. That's just, there's no integrity there, man. That is not, like I said, these were platforms that were built for truly independent creators to get their projects made. And you got a millionaire going on there for his worst idea.
Yeah, and that's what I really didn't like about it, because I did enjoy watching 31. I found it a more watchable movie than the Lords of Salem. Sure as hell more watchable than 3 from Hell.
Briggs, what is this? Hey,
Time,
man, we got a $20 dono in the chat over here, bro. Are you seeing this?
James Grant, you've made it rain.
James Grant, that is the biggest donation we've ever gotten in a live stream, brother. Ever, Briggs. You are good luck, baby. I knew that little bit of chest hair Briggs has going on tonight, I knew that would be enough of a tease to get some money flowing in here, son. Hey, James Grant, brother, thank you. Welcome to the Horror Fan. I hope you'll also hit that subscribe button, my friend. We do these every week, sometimes multiple times a week. But thank you, brother, man. That is freaking awesome. And Jason, we've already commented on the Devil's Rejects earlier in the stream. I also agree. I do like the Devil's Rejects a good bit, but right now we are on the topic of 31, and yeah, Briggs. So you said that that's a problem that you also had with the film, right?
It was enjoyable, but it was so basic. It was basically the horror version of The Running Man, but...
What the fuck is this, Briggs? God damn, son! You're gonna have to tear that shirt off at this point. Everything Horror Collector came in with a 99.9... God damn, son! Look at that. That's worth that button getting undone, baby.
Guys, please keep interrupting my points if you're doing it like that.
Yeah, do it. We don't want Briggs to talk. We don't want Briggs to talk. He might have an opposing opinion.
Briggs should be seen and not heard, okay?
Yeah, there he is. Speak no evil. Look at that, Briggs. We have a $20 and a $99.99 donation right here on my screen, man. That is wild. Everything Horror Collector, James Grant, man. Thank you all so much for that. That's wild.
You're super kind, man. That's money I'd never expected to see streaming, my friend.
No.
You're just great.
I'm telling you guys, you know what? You guys, my heart has grown 3 sizes larger today. Briggs, when you come in July, I'll take you to McDonald's and you can have 3 items off the dollar menu, baby.
It's Big Mac with just onions?
No, Briggs, that's not dollar menu. You could a McDouble, a kid's fry, and a baby chocolate shake. How about that?
Love her. Love scars.
Oh, man. Everything Horror Collector. I wish it would, brother, man. There is, yeah, we should have a link in here to sign up for a membership, dude. They do get a couple extra little perky perks there, but dude, $120 plus a new member tonight, son. These streams, oh man, the Horror Fam comes in strong. But
just going back to my point, 31, it's like the horror version of The Running Man, but it's like killers in it are just so much more generic than the stalkers in The Running Man. The action sequences, they don't go on for too long. They're kind of they happen and then they're done with.
Yeah.
it's like they didn't put any like hype, any like suspense in the film. There was no sense of like doom where you were afraid. There was no sense of like you were afraid of what was coming because you didn't really get attached to either the killers or the victims in 31. It
Well,
felt like there should have been more backstory, there should have been more characterization, and there should have been more of a chase. It should have had more of a siege angle, I guess you'd say. Like
yeah.
more of a dynamic chase element to it instead of just most of the action sequences taking place in either one room and then moving to another.
Well, man, and
And this was the project he funded. Like
yeah,
this is the one he
well,
should have
not
put
he
his
didn't
soul
even
into.
fund, man. His fans funded, and I mean, he
Well,
admitted
that's
that. I know what
the
you're
one
saying,
that he
brother.
raised the money
He
for.
raised the money for it, and I mean, this is the one that he didn't want the studios to touch. I mean, and that's what he admitted. He said this is his most generic idea, and he guaranteed he could get it made, and he did. And this is what he gave in return to his fans who put. I mean, it's like the people here, man. Saved by Grace, James, and Everything Horror Collector, man. That is hard earned money from these people that they're sending
Yeah.
us to allow us to do this. I'm
These
not
are
going to.
probably
I'm not going to come in
Zombie's
here
number
drunk
one
off.
fans.
Yeah, they deserve the best of us. There's not going to be a time where I come in here drunk off my ass and falling over my computer chair, unless y'all want to see that. But yeah, Briggs might. Briggs might make that happen for us too. But hey, thank you, Dragon Blues, for helping out. Everything Horror Collector there. That is the join location to become a channel member, like old Saved by Grace did tonight. But yeah, man, that's a problem I have with 31 is that's his most generic idea. Put the film and he didn't pay for it. You know what I'm saying, Briggs? I mean, speaking as a creator myself, and I can say this with 100% honesty. If I had millions of dollars laying around and I could finance a film, I would do it. I would
It
not
would have
ask
been,
people for money. I
and
would
it would
do
be a
it.
passion project too. Like
It
I
would.
guarantee, a Stephen E. Step film would have every ounce of heart and soul squeezed out of its budget.
It would. And I'm not saying it would be great. Hell, I'm not saying it would be as good as 31. But I would put everything I had into it. So, you know, I can't see why he did that, man. That was really bad. And once again, the cast of characters is typical. The chainsaw wielding clowns were all hillbillies, every single one of them.
No, there was a
There
German in
was
there.
there was what?
There was a German in there, and Doomhead weren't no fucking hillbilly.
Yes, I mean, dude, when he's having sex with that woman, I mean, he's living in a trailer out in the middle of, I mean, it looked like it, out in the middle of the desert. I mean, totally. I mean, they acted like it. They're just skanky people. I mean, yeah, they're going around killing people. They just. It seemed.
We didn't really get an idea why either. And like one thing Rob Zombie does, and sometimes it's good, and in projects like 31 it sucks, is he gives us this kind of taste of lore, and you want to know more about the backstory, about where this fucking elite club came from, about how they secured these killers, about what they do in their off time other than fucking redneck skanks. But we
Yeah.
don't get any of it. Like, he doesn't really think it through or put it out on the screen, at least.
Well, man, it's just that thing, dude. He's gotta. He has a certain thing he likes to do, and he just does it in every movie. It's like he can't help himself. It's just like the casting Sherry Moon Zombie thing again, which he did, of course, do in 31. And dude, her big scene of the movie is when she walks out of a damn RV and rubs her own vagina to get off like a 70-year-old man who once again is another hillbilly working at a gas station. with no teeth. I mean, and to clear it up for tonight's poll, I've just ended it. The question was, which is better, Halloween 2018 or Rob Zombie's Halloween? We had 25 votes tonight, and the consensus is, Briggs, 56% of people said Halloween 2018 was the better film.
I'll accept it.
Okay. But, yeah, man, that's what I'm saying. James Grant, it does get old when he casts Sherry Moon Zombie in his films because, like I said, man, despite her acting, he shoehorned her into Halloween 2, and that was a big, horrible plot point for me, Briggs. He literally turned her into like an angelic ghost. But
and they just overblown it, like
they
the supernatural element that had no place in the damn Halloween series, like even in the fucking reboot. I don't believe.
Everything Horror Collector, I hear you, brother. And I'll tell you what, man, if you join up, I will swing you a community shout out. If you become a member tonight, brother, man. I got your back, dude, so you will get that shout out. But and then next up, man, we have 3 from Hell, which I'm not really going to talk about. I've only seen it once. And god-awful movie, man. It's basically The Devil's Rejects in Mexico.
It's The Devil's Rejects totally rehashed, and then they go to Mexico.
Yeah, and it's, Sid Haig was so sick, I think he died while making the movie or something like that, so they had to redo all of his stuff. Hey, James Grant coming on board. Welcome to the Horror Fan, brother. New Cadaver membership level, Briggsy. What do you think about that, dude?
Welcome to James Grant. I hope to see a lot more of you in streams to come.
I can't believe that stuff, man. 2 new members tonight and 2 Goodness gracious.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you what, next person who makes a donation, I'll get Briggs a Frosty from Wendy's when he comes in.
Please, one of you.
If it's a really good one, I'll take you to Dairy Queen again, Briggs. You remember that?
Yeah, I got chicken and waffles.
Yes, sir. Hey, baby. But, yeah, man, everybody's wanting to see the chest hair and my chin hair, Briggs. What do you think about that? We're fucking sex icons, dude. This stream is really bringing us to the masses, man. But, yeah, man, so 3 from Hell is essentially The Devil's Rejects, like, Saved by, I can't even talk, Briggs. $10 from Saved by Grace. Oh, my goodness. That is a Frosty for you, sir.
That's a true believer if I ever saw one, Steve.
It
Thanks,
is.
Steve.
Yeah, I'm telling you what, Briggs. It's just you got to be careful not to spill it in my truck.
I'll try.
I remember being a kid, man.
Excited.
Yeah, I remember being a kid and being in that back seat when I was little. I'd hate to have been my aunts or uncles, dude. It's hard to tell how many Frosties they had to clean out of their vehicles, dude. But hey, Saved by Grace, $10 dono. Oh my God, for the Frosty Fund. That's it. I wish Jonas was in here to see this. Yeah, man. But hey, yeah, Briggs. There was obviously some problems with some major problems with 3 from Hell. But not only in the writing and the directing department. Like I said, I do believe Sid Haig passed away during filming.
Saw it, man. You could have replaced Richard Brake with Sid Haig, and the movie would have basically been unchanged, and it really probably wouldn't have been any better. Because it really was just a rehash. It's the wart at the end of The Devil's Rejects. Like,
yeah.
I watched the House of a Thousand Corpses and Devil's Rejects were the first 2 films I rewatched for this stream. And after watching The Devil's Rejects, I was like, I'd never seen 3 from Hell before, but I had zero desire to even give it a chance. Like, you watch The Devil's Rejects ending, and that is not a to be continued right there. That freeze frame on the 3 of them, they're all dead.
Yeah.
That's the moment each of them died.
It was Okay, so my idea. I remember telling you this. I was like, Briggs, he maybe could have did something and remained true to the duology that he created, and I'm talking about House of a Thousand Corpses and The Devil's Rejects. With a little bit of creativity here, Rob. Think, Rob, think. You could have fucking brought in Dr. Satan's god-awful ass from House of a Thousand Corpses, and he somehow gets a hold of the bodies and he reanimated.
At 100%, that would have been the only way I think he could have pulled it off. If he had just gone the exact opposite direction that he went with the Devil's Rejects. Instead of going full grit, he went full camp. Yeah. And just made it just a totally, balls out, not to be taken seriously at all backwoods slasher.
Yeah. If he would have just done that, man, he would have at least had a chance, man, at making a cohesive story, but instead we essentially got a remake of The Devil's Rejects with a much smaller budget, it looked like, and in Mexico with worse characters and
not taken seriously at all either. It was they tried to give it the same dark feeling that Devil's Rejects had, but the characters had to be so stupid and Free from Hell for it to all to work. We got mass wrestlers with machine guns, and they all fucking get sniped because they linger too long pointing their guns at the Firefly family.
Oh, God.
Danny Trejo and Diamond Dallas Page wouldn't have done that stupid shit.
No, hell no. Hey, and Jonas. Go ahead, Briggs.
They did Danny Trejo dirty in that one, man. They killed him like a bitch, and they killed his son like a bitch.
Yeah. Yeah. But hey, I was going to send Jonas a shout out, man. Welcome back to the stream, brother. We got some huge donations in here tonight, brother, and 2 new members. I had to share the excitement with you because Jonas is always pumping me up, Briggs, making me get more drink. And I see old Saved by Grace has a drink going on too. But yeah, man, so Free from Hell, oh, shit, Briggs. I remember after that thing coming out, you could go get it for $10 along with the 2 other films at Walmart, man.
Hey, I'll give it this, man. Free from Hell is the one film that earned that Walmart variant cover where the cover was all decorated like Dia de los Muertos.
Oh! Oh, man.
The one that actually fit on. I don't want to see Day of the Dead Chucky. Free from Hell, at least that took place in Mexico, so you could justify having that pointless variant cover.
Yeah. But man, I guess now, Rob Zombie, so he's went through numerous other attempts to get projects off the ground. He wanted to do a damn hockey movie there for a while. He wanted to do T-Rex. He wanted to do a Blob remake.
What the fuck would that have been like?
Could you imagine Briggs the Blob being a fucking hillbilly? You got the blob. The blob is a pile of chewed up tobacco that just rolls around and eats people. It's just come on, you sons of bitches. I'm gonna get you good.
Rob Zombie wouldn't have done that, Steve. He would have made it a glob of semen.
Yeah, it would have been a glob of semen, a hillbilly glob of semen. What are you, jealous of your own daughter's ass? The Blob would have been fucking voiced by William Forsyth, bro. Oh, shit.
Just imagine Rob Zombie's It.
Get your asshole over here, Georgie. I smell like popcorn, boys. You know what they say they love in hell? It's popcorn. Oh, God. Fucking Richard Brake is Pennywise.
Oh, God. That would have been practical effects all the way, dude. I think that would have satisfied you, man.
Yeah, it would have. Pennywise is no longer Bill Skarsgård playing a CGI fucking character. At least well, hell, Richard Brake can't talk. Hell, he was the Night King or whatever from Game of Thrones. But man, out of all these projects that Rob Zombie shot for, Briggs, I'll be damned if he didn't somehow land the monsters.
I think, God, I don't know, man. Like, this Rob Zombie's Monsters is a coin flip for me, dude.
Well, I
Like,
mean, it's like, how
right up his damn alley, but then it could be his biggest travesty.
Well, man, like, how in the hell did he, like, it reminds me of one of those memes where it's like, nobody wanted the fucking, like, who wanted the monsters? And it's just like, nobody. Like, who, I mean, now I'm not talking shit about the monsters. I love Fred Gwynn and but I mean, the monsters? Where the fuck did that come from?
Dude, Rob Zombie had the clips from the Monsters and House of a Thousand. He had two characters named Herman in the Lords of Salem.
I agree with that. I mean, he did. Clearly, dude's a Munster fan. But
the Munsters were basically like the origin of Rockabilly, dude. Rob Zombie's patron saint is Grandpa.
I don't know. I mean, okay, so I mean, I know there's people in the chat. Yes, Sailor Mercury. Rob Zombie is doing a Munsters reboot. And of course, Sherry Moon Zombie plays Lily Munster.
Now, I watched some fucking Munsters in preparation for this stream, and I have to say, like, Lily Munster is not a bad role for Sherry Moon Zombie. If you watch her facial expressions in any of Rob Zombie's films, and then you watch a couple episodes of The Munsters, you can see it.
And I'm with Joel Phelan on this. He says Sherry Moon is no Yvonne DeCarlo. I'm with him.
She's a Lily Munster.
Well, I mean, Yvonne was looking pretty good as Lily, I gotta say there, Briggs. And, James Grant, fun fact, The Munsters only lasted 2 seasons, as did the Addams Family, if I remember correctly.
And they both premiered within, 6 days of one another.
Dang, there you go. Another fun fact. What's up, Billy Judd? Welcome to the stream, man. Glad to see you made it in here. But, okay, so the Munsters, Briggs, of all things. Now, this is going to shine some new light on Rob Zombie, man. What do you think? I mean, you said, like it can be a coin toss, whether this is good or bad. And out of all the people, though, to do the Munsters, they chose, which was like a family-friendly television show.
Yeah. It was the softer version of the Addams Family.
Yeah, so they chose a guy who, every movie he's ever made has a rape scene in it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, but I also see your point. Like, he does include Munster-like characters, so it's like, shit, man, maybe this is a Rob Zombie passion project. Maybe he, can give us something that's worthwhile.
I just don't, I don't know the direction he's going to take with it. I mean, I don't know if he's going to go redneck with it, if it's going to be basically like the redneck take on the Munsters. I don't know if he's going to make it just like the original series, if he's going to make it funny but vulgar, or what the hell he's going to do.
Yeah, that's the thing. I see the, questions coming up over here. Missy JoJo, why, and she shares that he thinks he's going to ruin it. And, we have some other, questions in here, man. Like, what's he going to do with it? Is it going to be a comedy or what? We don't really know. I assume, I don't think he would get his hands on a property like the Munsters without, the studio being like, look, Dick, this one, has to be toned down a lot. Like, it needs to be a PG film. I mean, that's what I would imagine, something like the Addams Family movie or,
It's going to be interesting to see. I guess I would have to say it's the first Rob Zombie film I'm really curious about since I guess the original Halloween.
Oh, I
Or
hear you,
his
man.
original Halloween.
Yeah, well, it'll be interesting to see, man. I'll watch it just to see what the hell he does with it because I am legitimately curious. Like, and it will be interesting to see if Rob Zombie can do something different.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and I'm not saying like I said with the original Halloween, I do appreciate that he tried to do something different. I'm saying like different in terms of, like, is this the Monsters isn't going to be a full-fledged horror movie. He's, you know, John the Baptist here says it's rated PG. You know, I want to see if Rob Zombie can tone it down and give us something. I hope, man, he can give us, because, you know, just like with the Addams Family movie, you know, Raul Julia, Christina Ricci, man, he gave us characters that film gives us characters that are just heartwarming, and I love them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, makes
and
my
yet, that was nothing like the original show, and I
it wasn't.
wonder how faithful like Rob Zombie would be in comparison to that.
Yeah, so yeah, that's what I'm wondering, man. You know, if he can pull it off. That's why, you know, I'm willing to give it a shot. And I think, you know, Sherry Moon Zombie is, I mean, I know she's Lily Munster. I think Jeff Daniel Phillips is Herman.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah,
I mean, he's tall as hell, so, you know, he could. But, I mean, Herman wore, like, stilts and stuff. I mean, he had, like, huge heels on those boots.
then they got Daniel Roebuck playing Grandpa, and he's definitely, in terms of an image, a silhouette, he's definitely, like, I think the most changed from the original character outline, because he looks like a Southern granddaddy. He looks like a damn great-grandson of a Civil War general or something.
Yeah, so what do you people out there think? You know, I want to see in the comments. Do you think Rob Zombie's The Monsters will be good or bad? Let's see what the general consensus here is, Briggs. What? So you're at a 50-50 on it, Briggsy?
Yeah, like, I don't know what to even think about any kind of Monsters reboot until I've seen a trailer, much less one directed by the fucking reigning champion of super gritty, like, super, like, vulgar horror.
Yeah. Man, okay, and you know, I don't want to leave you hanging on that. You know, I'm gonna go ahead and say it's gonna be on the bad side.
Do you think?
Go ahead.
How do you think it would stack up among his filmography? Because I know you like maybe two of his movies.
Well, man, and it looks like, you know, I'm looking at the comments here, Briggs, and it looks like people are saying it's going to be bad. But to be, I mean, we've got a couple bads, and we've got, you know, a couple, like, I don't even know. So they're with you, man. They're on like the 50-50. They're, you know, straddling the fence there, but
John has faith.
Yeah, there you go. Well,
Because,
John says
mean,
probably bad. Dragon says probably bad as well. But man, you know,
John the Baptist.
oh, John the Baptist thinks it's going to be good. There we go. We do have a vote for the good side. Mm-hmm. But the reason I'm going to go with bad, man, is because most of his track record, man.
It's kind of out of his wheelhouse in terms of actual projects he's created.
Well, not only that, but like you said, like, I actually like two of his movies. Like, I actually really like them. Like, two of his films. And given the fact that it is out of his wheelhouse and stuff, like, you know, even despite that, you know, just going by his track record of, I typically don't like his movies, I'll say, you know, I'd have to go with bad, because there's more bad than good there. But then if you add in the fact that it is outside of his wheelhouse and all that.
Yeah, so maybe it'll be totally different from what most of his stuff has been, and maybe it'll be for the better.
I hope it is good, you know. I don't want to, of course I hope it's good. I don't want to watch something that's bad. I don't want to waste my time, and I want more good horror content out there. So it's not like I trash Rob Zombie just for the fun of it, or you know, wish him ill will. I hope it's good, man. I hope it's good. It looks like a passion project for him. I know he's like faithfully recreated the house and the set, and looks like he's really trying, man. So I hope it's good, and I hope there's some money behind a name like the Munsters that can hopefully get him there.
So, hour and a half in, would you say Rob Zombie is good or bad for horror, dude?
That's a tough question. That's a tough question, man. I will. I don't know, man. That's a tough question because also you have to. You have to think about the people that have been discouraged, or for lack of a better term, by him because of people on his set get injured.
Ooh.
A lot. It sounds like it, and I mean he has some really, Tyler Mane. I know you mentioned what an imposing figure he is and stuff, man, but he doesn't seem like a good guy. It seems like he's almost a loose cannon and gets people hurt, and Rob Zombie doesn't step up and take care of them.
That's a shame.
So, I mean, you gotta think of it that way, and I know Danielle Harris, from what I saw, she's definitely not a fan. It sounds like she resents him for wasting both her and Brad Dourif. So you gotta think of it in that, like, what harm has he done in terms of that? But as far as good or bad for, at least I would say he's at least brought some crossover fans to the genre. He left a mark with the Devil's Rejects, I think. I think the people who saw that, had at least something good they could latch on to. But he exploited the horror fandom, man, when he did his Indiegogo crowdfunding campaign. That was really exploitive, and I do not like that.
And it was all for kind of a mediocre film. I do think House of a Thousand Corpses and Devil's Rejects, the Firefly duology, that was kind of his masterpiece. You can tell he likes writing those characters more than anybody else.
Yeah.
You can even see that with Three from Hell. I think Halloween was a really strong remake. It's one that I definitely like. It's one of the few remakes I would definitely say is worth watching on its own. But after that, like, his stuff has just been kind of like, it's kind of been on a downslide, I think, even though he's been trying new things. Like, he shows that he doesn't put too much thought into his stories, and when he tries to do something more complex, something with more meat to it, he shows he's kind of out of his depth that way. And I think Three from Hell, man, is the first one where he felt like, even in his bad moments, I think Rob Zombie is definitely a man with a passion for filmmaking. He puts his all into the style of the film, into making the characters memorable. Then we got something like Three from Hell, and it felt like he didn't give a fuck with that one. It felt like it's the first one he did just because the franchise was popular.
Yeah.
I hope the Munsters won't be something similar to that.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. And, we are an hour and 40 minutes now over time. So if, we're going to start winding down, if there's any, last minute comments or questions or anything any of y'all want to throw out there, we will get to answering those now. I would like to once again send a huge shout out and thank you to James Grant, Everything Horror Collector, and Saved by Grace for supporting this stream monetarily. That helps a lot, like tremendously.
Thank you to everybody who supports Talk Horror, either with your views or with your dollars.
Absolutely.
You guys are great. I'm happy you guys come to watch us week after week, and it makes me happy knowing that we've got an audience that really digs what we have to say.
Oh, absolutely. it's really heartwarming, man. To see people throwing their hard-earned bucks at us. But not only that, like Briggs says, I want to thank every single one of you, man. I'm seeing a lot of not only new faces in here, but faces that stayed with us for an hour and 40 minutes, Briggs. I mean, that is a long time to hear our hillbilly asses talk some horror. But, hopefully we've been able to entertain you. And a couple of things here, Briggs. Number one, this topic, we do get we're passionate about horror. And Rob Zombie to me is like, I can talk about him and joke and stuff like that, but whenever we talk about, I use the word rape a few times there, Briggs. Number one, that's an iffy one to use on here because YouTube could possibly get upset with it. But it is a fact of life. It is something that occurs, and if we happen to use that and we're laughing or trying to come up with I know we're not laughing at the act. I do want to say that, so please do not take it that way, anybody. And also, like I said, this is Rob Zombie. I got passionate there a few times talking about him and the type of scumbag stuff, frankly, I think he's done. But I do not want that to be divisive in any way. I'm not sitting here wanting to talk shit about anybody who likes him. I can totally see why people would like him. And I don't expect everybody to think like me. So, I can't get passionate talking some smack about some topics like Rob Zombie or something like that, man. It's just my opinion, Briggs. And, it's just like you, man. You can like Lords of Salem or...
very mildly.
Or House of a Thousand Corpses, but, and then I can sit here and trash it, but I'm not trashing you.
I know, man. I just want you to have some respect for the man's talents is all.
And I can, man. Like I said, I appreciate his artistic vision in some ways. The cinematography in a Rob Zombie film is always on point. Always. That is, like I said at the beginning, man, that's universal. He's going to have good lighting. He's going to have good cinematography. Mm-hmm. And set design.
And usually good music.
Yeah. And, hey, we love you too, Missy JoJo. Oh, man. Yeah, we're getting lots of comments in here, Breeze, telling us that we had a great stream. Thank you. And, yeah, man, I just wanted to throw that out there, because sometimes we talk about stuff that can be sensitive, and since we do this live, it's not like I could throw up warnings and stuff like that. And, I know Saved by Grace and, mentioned that she can't watch some of his films because of the content or whatever, and I just want to make sure, we're not trying to be disrespectful in any way, shape, or form.
It's just we can't talk about all horror films without addressing these subjects sometimes.
And it's not, and we love horror films, but it's not like we're going out here and killing people either, so don't, take it that way. But, and yes, Dragon Blues, Friday night, Briggs, I want to know if you're going to be there, baby, because tomorrow we have a watch party on Friday the 13th for the new Firestarter film. Being released on Peacock. Well, if any of y'all have Peacock out there or just want to chill with us in general, you're more than welcome. If you have Peacock, you can watch along with us. If not, you can just chill and see our reaction to the Firestarter remake in real time. But Briggs, I don't freaking blame you if you don't show up, because I guarantee you the Firestarter remake is going to be a doozy. And
I just want to say, this is a totally different subject, but just because DOD's not here, I want to give a big shout to Billy Judd for mentioning Fish Boy!
Oh, Fish Boy! But, hey, man, and Saturday night, for those of you who would, who need some more talk horror in your life. So Friday the 13th, we have a live stream. Watch party of Firestarter Saturday night. Necro and I will be discussing the Firestarter franchise, for goodness sakes, Briggs. Yeah.
The Firestarter duology?
Well, okay, now this is something people don't know, and Well, hell, I haven't watched it, so we probably won't even talk about it any damn way. But there is a Firestarter 2 rekindled, Briggs.
That's a strong franchise right there, dude.
That is, dude, with old Connie Moreau from the Mighty Ducks. I don't know if she played, like, I don't know if it follows Drew Barrymore's character or Charlie or what the hell goes on, but. Oh, Missy JoJo's tuning in for the watch party. But yeah, man, so hey, you all feel free to come right on in and watch along with us or just chill out with us. Oh man, we got James Grant saying he's going to come in, Briggs. John, thank you for being here, brother man. We hope all of you can make it. Saved by Grace says she'll be there, baby. Let's see. Oh, Dragon Blues is calling you out in chat. She's saying, what? Briggs has to be there.
Hey, if I watch Firestarter and it is a flaming turd, then you guys have to have a Hip Hop Locos watch party with me.
Oh,
no
shit. Yeah, that is not a fair trade. Because no matter how bad the Firestarter remake may be, and it's a Blumhouse special, Briggs. Oh, shit. Yeah. I could hear the disdain in your voice right there, man. It is not Hip Hop Locos bad.
Okay.
Yeah, Necro, that's what we need to do. We need to have a betting pool for Firestarter, and just for whenever Zac Efron's going to take that shirt off. Like, we need to have a betting pool how long into the movie it takes for that to happen.
Frosty and watch the damn movie.
Yeah, Dragon Blues calling you out hardcore, saying, Briggs, have your Frosty and watch the damn movie. There we go, Briggs. I can PayPal you $1 if that's what it's going to take. Thanks to old James Grant here and everything Horror Collector. And Saved by Grace, I can swing you that $1 via PayPal, Briggs. I don't do none of that Cash App bullshit, so you're going to have to man up, but.
How much does a Peacock subscription cost? Is that $1?
Oh, now listen to this shit. He's stingier than hell. I'll say by Grace, she loves that ponytail, Briggs. He's going for the Reggie Bannister look, Grace. Yeah, he is. He's hot as love, you know.
Skull it.
Oh, Missy JoJo says she's going to pause it when Efron goes shirtless. What do you think about that, Briggs?
Y'all have to pause it so, nobody gets off sync.
Oh, that's bullshit. I ain't pausing on Zac Efron's chest. And I guarantee you, okay. Okay, here's the question. We'll throw it out in the chat. How do you think he gets shirtless? Is it going to be a love scene? Is it going to be a shower scene?
Is he going to have it set on fire and it burn off his body?
Ooh! Or is he going to be like a mechanic and he just wheels himself out from underneath the car and he's magically shirtless?
It's a joke. They hired Zac Efron for the dad.
Oh, Briggs, this is a personal topic for Briggs because he's met David Keith before, so super fan of Andy from the original Firestarter.
Met him. He was working in our opera.
Oh my God, Jonas said he's going to be at the fire station working on Friday the 13th. Let me tell you something, Jonas. If you get any calls on Friday the 13th, do not go. It's going to be Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers. Something's going to go wrong. Like, the stuff from Wreck or A.K.A. Quarantine might go down. Like, just don't. Yeah, that's what you need to do. Briggs, I'll tell you what. Well, how much of a donation would it take for you to take off your shirt in the vein of Zac Efron? Just to recreate whatever the hell he does from Firestarter.
I'll need to see what he does in Firestarter first. I may not have the proper moves to imitate Zac Efron. If I can pull it off, then free. I'll do that for free.
Damn! Dude, and then we'll use that as your OnlyFans trailer clip. Oh my God.
The only Briggs fans in the world.
Missy JoJo says, He's going to pull it off by getting dressed in the morning.
Logical. I can see that.
James Grant says it's going to be a wake-up scene with a nosebleed. Oh, man. Okay. Yeah, Necro says that you can only go shirtless if there's a dollar amount put on it, Briggs, because you're worth it. I am LMNOP.
Hey.
Look at that, baby! $2. The $2. Yeah, dropping bombs, man. I'm telling you what, Briggs, that chest hair is coming out. Next stream,
my Peacock subscription.
I'm gonna start. Yeah, I'm gonna send you a V-neck. Well, I don't know. That's kind of my trademark. I don't know if you can have that, but I am LMNOP coming through with the $2 dono, baby. I love it, Briggs. Love it. What a beast. Going into beast mode. Yeah, Briggs, you got to do some shit like Belle Delphine and sell your bathwater or something. For a full-fledged Peacock subscription, man, you're gonna have to pull some strings. Damn, you see that, don't you?
It's a real life Briggs fingernail. I'll have you know.
Whoa!
$5.99.
$5.99. There you have it. I don't even know if they cover shipping at these rates here, Briggs, but well, watch somebody buy that damn thing, take you up on it, and they just fucking somehow get a hold of your DNA, and there's a little splice Briggs running around.
They call it CROD, with dork spelled backwards.
That son of a bitch is gonna come out looking like Bilal from Basket Case.
We spliced Briggs with himself. This is what he came out of the womb looking like. This isn't a genetic mutation at all. Eventually it'll grow into his skin.
Oh, man. Hey, Nate. Welcome to the stream, brother. We just about to hop off here unless there's any more comments we want to get to because Dragon Blues has called us out, Briggs. This stream has really jumped the shark. Yeah, that's it, Briggs. You might come out looking like Brundlefly. Have superpowers and shit. For like a day. Oh, man. Yeah, hey, and happy Friday the 13th to all of you. Out here, we have a couple more hours until we hit it, but man, oh, man. I'm going to have my Jason mask with me tomorrow. You watch. It's happening, Briggs. And that's what sucks kind of about the watch party. It doesn't suck because I'm pumped to do it. But man, on Friday the 13th, I typically have one hell of a Friday the 13th movie marathon, brother.
You got plenty of Friday the 13th this year to choose from, dude.
Well, I promise that no matter what, even if I do have that live stream, Friday the 13th will play tomorrow, and I will be watching at least one. So don't y'all worry. My tradition will not die. Oh, man, there you go, Briggs. You need to watch Magic Mike, dude. By next Thursday, Briggs is going to get in here and have some moves, I'm telling you all.
I'm going to just watch Magic and then Mikey.
Can you do can you do us the Zoolander look, Briggs? Just give people a little preview. Just give them... He's been working on this, folks. Oh, shit! And did you see that? The ponytail swing was free. Did you see? That was a bonus. That's like extra added DLC, baby. Oh, man.
Me and Steve tend to stream every Thursday around 8 p.m. Eastern, Nate.
Yeah, 8 p.m. Eastern. Necro and I will be going live at 6 p.m. Eastern on Saturday to discuss the Firestarter films. And it's Magnum. It's the Magnum look, Briggs. And tomorrow's watch party on Friday the 13th will be 8-ish, I'm guessing. Just make sure you're subscribed to the channel have notifications turned on, and you will get a notification if I change the time or anything like that. But it will be tomorrow evening. Let's see here, Breeze. What do we got?
Billy Judd, I liked his opponent, dude. His old left combo.
Yeah, Billy Judd, that son of a bitch. He has. He got punch drunk, Briggs. Like, that son of a bitch ate 32 unanswered shots and then went down. Like, Julius.
Good old boxer, only known as Boxer.
Like, yeah, Julius had the nerve to act like he was a badass after beating him to death. Like, hell, he never threw. Well, he did throw one punch, and Julius did slip it, Briggs. Julius had that head movement too. He wasn't only a slugger.
Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee.
That's right, baby. Hey, good night, Necro. Thank you for coming in, brother man. Nate Blanche, thank you, brother. Saying we always have good streams, Briggs.
Thanks, Nate.
Hell yeah, say by
you're
grace.
entertained.
Jason gets the whopper in and knocks Julius's goddamn block off. What do you think about that, Briggs? Look like old Clu Gallagher in Return of the Living Dead when he beheads that damn zombie.
Except I think Julius was weak to having his head punched off, man.
Yeah, well, Julius, he skipped neck day. He ain't got no George Washington in him, brother. He's skipping that neck day. All right, man. Hey, I'd like to thank every single one of you for coming in tonight. Yes, I have, Nate. I surely have, brother.
He's got some streams of that somewhere. He doesn't have them up anymore.
Yeah, I may not. But, hey, man, thank y'all for coming in tonight, making it a very lively chat. You have spent 2 hours with us tonight on our special Rob Zombie stream. We bullshitted half of it away. We got Passionate Briggs. We got Looney. We got Sexy.
Steve loves every one of you guys more than he loves Rob Zombie.
I do. That's 100% truth. But I really do anyway, because, hey, I interact with these people. I actually know them. I love them. They're part of the horror fam. We need Rob Zombie to become a member. He needs to hit that subscribe button, like,
and start rising from the grave.
Yeah, ring that bell, because he could even be a new cadaver. I'll take new cadaver. But hey, man, yeah, Jason's coming for us, Nate. You'll see tomorrow. You'll see, baby, for the Friday 13th stream.
Oh, Billy Judd just shouted out the Fish Boy, and you weren't here, DOD.
Uh-oh. DOD. Heck yeah. All right, man. Thank y'all for coming in. Until tomorrow. And then Saturday, and then next Thursday. All the other live streams we have coming up. I would like to say, look horror.
Listen horror.
Talk
horror.